Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports with Monga. And what a result! This is what we're waiting for, not for the right results, but almost we're hoping for some drama at the top, some drama and something for Max Verstappen to happen so that we can have an interesting race to see who's the best of the rest, who picks up the mantle if there was no Max Verstappen. And it was an unlikely source completely. It was a source that we had thought of possibly not making it end, not even having a start today. And Carlos Sainz, he has been the one to kind of show what happens if Max Verstappen is not there. Ferrari driver Carlos Sainz took the first non-Red Bull win of the season with impressive display during the Australian Grand Prix, taking advantage of technical trouble for Max Verstappen in the opening laps and forced the reigning champion to retire. There's a lot to get into from Australian Grand Prix. Before we do that, I hope you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well, and hit the bell icon as well. There'll be a lot of more content coming from the Formula One world. It's been a lot of drama. Like, it was a very early race. Watching it, I almost felt like, again, would it be the same old Max domination? Will we have Max 3.0, the part 3 of it? But apparently not. Everything changed after there was smoke at the end of lap 3 coming out of behind the from the rear of that Red Bull. But it was very important to see the bidding. It was a very interesting race because Max Verstappen was bidding for a record equaling 10th victory in a row. Max Verstappen converted his pole position advantage as the race got underway, but soon reported issues. He started talking about, like, in the second lap itself, Sainz was very close to him. He makes the overtake, and Verstappen from there had brake woes, like brake-related woes got worse, and with plumes of smoke exiting the rear of RB20, he pulled off the racing line to let the rest of the field overtake him before returning to the pits and returning. This is a stat. This is the first time in 2 years to the day Max Verstappen, 2 years before the Australian Grand Prix, had a DNF. He has not had a DNF for the last 2 years. That shows the reliability and the dominance of Red Bull and Max Verstappen in that machinery. The man and the machine have just been too hard to beat for anybody. Sainz went from strength to strength after Verstappen's absence, building a solid lead over Lando Norris, teammate Charles Leclerc, and home favorite Oscar Piastri as the race developed, eventually taking the checkered flag for the third time winner, the 3-time winner. Like, I wouldn't say the 3-time winner. He's won a Formula One race for the third time, and it's all been remarkable. Singapore last year, Monza, and Monaco, and this is just crazy scenes with this happening for him at the Australian Grand Prix. Leclerc completed the undercut on Norris in the early stages of the race to rise to a net second and backup Sainz for Ferrari's first 1-2 since 2022 opener. But the Briton nonetheless recorded a breakthrough maiden podium of the season. Now Norris was on the podium alongside of Leclerc, and that's how it's ended. Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris, top 3 of the podium. But there was a lot of drama behind him because Oscar Piastri at one point was P3, but he was asked to swap with Lando because of the tire delta, and that's what even Zach Brown at the end of the race in the post-race conference did say. It was all about tire deltas, how far ahead who could push Leclerc. Piastri could not have pushed Leclerc, and that could be also seen at the track time at the end of it, how it ended. Lando Norris with 5 seconds behind, but then Piastri 35 seconds behind of Norris. So it kind of tells you where the tire delta was. Of course, you could be all talking about where was the second Red Bull of Sergio Perez. Of course, he had dropped to the 6th position after getting a 3-pace grid penalty for impeding Kevin Magnussen from the qualifying. That meant he was coming from far behind to kind of even ask for the podium. But then even for the post-race conference, he said it would not have been the case. Even if Max Verstappen was there, Ferrari looked so strong, super strong, to kind of go for the win. And that's a very positive thing. Is this the shift? we can't rule off anybody right now from Red Bull because they've been dominating already all the time. But this is something to look for. Is there a glimmer of hope? Are the Scarlet Color, the Red Scarlet team from Italy, the Tifosi, can they now feel that they have the title chances? Piastri also got the jump on Norris during the initial run of the pit stops, only to be asked to move aside for his teammate and then lose some more time with the off-track excursion, leaving him lonely fourth for the finish. Followed by Red Bull of Sergio Perez. We've touched upon his race. George Russell was pushing, and that's kind of interesting. There was a double DNF from Mercedes. George Russell had been pushing to complete a late move on Fernando Alonso for sixth position when he completely crashed out in the last lap. The high-speed turn 6 and 7 complex, causing extensive damage to his Mercedes and bringing out the virtual safety car. And this is on the last lap. It's like Alonso is there, and he kind of, I think it brake tests him or something happens. George is too far deep into the corner to kind of make the turn now, and he's committed, but his car snaps and he can't control it, kind of making anything, and it's all gone really horrendously wrong. Of course, Lewis Hamilton had an engine issue, the first reliability issue for them for quite some time as well. The chinks in the armor now coming out for Mercedes after a dominating 8-time World Championship run that they've had, but Red Bull have broken that. But that's how eras end and championships are broken down. Lewis Hamilton could not even, like at 17th lap, he was out of the race. So there were two DNFs by 17th lap. One was Max Verstappen and the other was Lewis Hamilton, and that's kind of the thing that's interesting to see. But gaining from the spot that into Lance Stroll made it to Aston Martin at the point 7. Yuki Tsunoda gave RB their first rewarding points of the campaign, and Haas took a welcome clutch points of Nico Hülkenberg and Kevin Magnussen in the 10th. Williams' decision to put Alex Albon in Logan Sargent's car did not quite result as he took 11th, followed by another home driver in RB's Daniel Ricciardo at the Alpine driver, who was hit by the 5-second time penalty for a pit exit breach. Kick Sauber endured yet more pit problems, 14th and 15th for Valtteri Bottas and Zhou Guanyu, respectively, with Esteban Ocon on the final finisher. And in the Alpine, after Verstappen's early retirement, Russell, a late crash and mid-race engine issues for Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton was watching from the Mercedes garage when teammate Russell suffered his crash, and with that latter, whose car, which pitched on the sides in the middle of the track and the left front crumbled, quickly reported that he was okay. With the drivers aware, Russell's condition, celebration started down, and the Ferrari and Sainz reveled in his smooth operator. What a race for that. Let's kick a bow. The driver of the day, he is the man of the moment. It's Carlos Sainz. What a crazy day. Day 0 is he sitting in the hospital getting his appendicitis surgery done. And day 16 is him winning the Australian Grand Prix. What a roller coaster. That's what he says, even while he was kind of getting into the podium positions to the team, that life, what a roller coaster. It's fun. And, he just kind of reiterated that. It kind of tells you what he kind of felt from his perspective. Of course, what a moment. He was also joking aside the fact that he doesn't have a job. He's jobless in 2025, and he hopes to make this kind of put an end to this, because like everybody sees the performances he can do in a winning car, and he can win for you. That is a very, very strong showing for a driver who's without a drive in 2020. Of course, Lewis Hamilton taking his drive, hence the issues there. Hence, Carlos is without a drive. Charles Leclerc licking his wounds. I would say he was the first one to go to congratulate Carlos Sainz on his victory. But he had not been on par with the weekend. He had been struggling. Carlos Sainz was hooked on from the first lap, and that's what Carlos Sainz does. He does not leave anything undone. He doesn't kind of leave any chances for his teammate if he is hooked on from the first go. Lando Norris, of course, getting the podium. He felt that he could have also pushed Leclerc to get the second stop, but then to BP2. But then he'll be happy to take P3. The Australian mixed, and as I said, it's a mixed result for both the Aussies. Oscar Piastri, P4. At one point, he was in the podium position. It would crazy to see. But then on the other end, we had Daniel Ricciardo again behind Yuki Tsunoda, not able to he's been struggling. He's the first to admit that he's not had the start that he was expecting. from this season. Of course, he says that this car is a progression or almost similar to how it was behind from the previous car. Hence, Yuki has he's more tuned to this car than him. But then Daniel Ricciardo needs to do better. He is kind of somebody who's struggling. He needs to come out of it. Sergio Perez couldn't do anything he finished P5. Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll doing the maximum that they could do with Aston Martins. Yuki Tsunoda, of course, with the RB getting the 4 points that he needed. Nico Hülkenberg and Kevin Magnussen, what a fight they've had with Alex Albon. Albon obviously had a lot of pressure on himself. He did say that he had a lot of pressure in the race as well because of the fact that he was given his teammate's car. Logan Sargent sat out of the race. He was given his car. There was a lot of tension between like what will happen. But eventually it kind of felt to me that Alex Albon almost missed out. He could have been there, but he almost missed out on the points that he had. But these are some weekends that you kind of feel for the team. Pierre Gasly, a valiant effort, P13 for him. Daniel Ricciardo touched upon on P12. Pierre Gasly 13, Valtteri Bottas and Zhou Guanyu. There's something definitely wrong with that team right now on the pit stop. They've not been able to figure out what's really happening and how is it kind of going. Because again, they had a wheel nut issue with Valtteri and Zhou Guanyu. Esteban Ocon had a really, really horrendous pit stop. He had issues as well, which he kind of had to stay and do a third pit stop as well. 3 DNFs, 2 Mercedes, and 1 Max Verstappen. What does this mean? 2 weeks' time, we head to Japan, and it's going to be crazy. Like it's the home of the rising sun with Yuki Tsunoda. It's the most amazing. It's kind of a beautiful race because the fans are really, really hooked on. They're very, very passionate about the race. And it's clearly the helmets, the camaraderie. It's beautiful. Max Verstappen with the Drivers' Championship. Max Verstappen still number 1 with 51 points. Charles Leclerc 47, Perez 46. But Carlos Sainz made a jump in the 40 points. And in the drivers' constructors, it's Red Bull Racing 93 and Ferrari 97 points for Red Bull, 93 for Ferrari, McLaren 55 and Aston Martin 27. It's all to play for. Like people said, is this something to watch for? I feel there's a lot more to watch for. Of course, Carlos Sainz is the man of the moment. Ferrari are on the rise. Will they be rising in the rising sun? And will Max Verstappen's brake duct issues, the brake issues that cause him to DNF, will be solved or not? There's a lot to watch out for. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think? What was your favorite moment? There will be more that I'll be doing around this Formula One race with my predictions that I made, bold predictions, crazy predictions. How did I fare? Let me know in the comment section below, what do you feel the race went? Was it exciting? Was it boring? Do you still feel there's something to watch in this Formula One season with 20 races still to go, 21 races still to go? Get on the comment section below. Do like this video, do subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon for more content. And I'll see you in the next one.